This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
I'm on my way now.
Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If you happen to be new around here, my name is Trevor, this is Anna, we are the Delightful Travelers. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the little bell to follow along on our adventures.
Yes, so speaking of our adventures, we were just traveling around the Maritimes. We went to PEI, we did some other areas of Nova Scotia, but we are back in Cape Breton, and today we're going to be focusing a little bit on the Cabot Trail and the surrounding areas. So we are starting things off today in Cape Breton Highlands National Park. We've actually been here in the park plenty of times. We spent loads of time here, but this is our first time doing the Skyline Trail, which is definitely the #1 trail here in the national park, and I imagine it's rated pretty high in Canada in general. It's very, very famous.
All right, we found a fork in the road here, a little map.
Yeah, we heard you can do the entire loop, which is quite long, I think. I can't remember how many.
6.5 kilometers, I think.
Was that the whole thing, or was that? I think that was actually what we're doing today. I think it was eight and a half or something like that to do the entire loop. We're just gonna walk straight to the look off and back, and I think that's 6.5.
I'm not sure if you guys know, but I'm actually from Cape Breton, not this part of Cape Breton, about 2 hours away, give or take, and I'm extra excited to do this today because I've never been up here. Like in my whole life, I've never been on the Skyline Trail specifically. Also, just some tech stuff really quick. We're having some microphone trouble, so if there's a scene with a bit of crackly sound, that's why I'm trying to catch it and watch every clip as we go. So I need a new mic, clearly. Just in case you're wondering how the walk is, it's pretty flat here so far. It's an easy walk. Now we're even on some kind of like a little boardwalk.
We even saw a guy with a cane, so if you have any mobility issues but you can still move and get around okay, then you can definitely do it. There's no climbing, there's no rocks, at least so far.
We're just coming across one of the first look-offs here. This is not the main attraction, but this...
No, but it actually gives you, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from the camera, but a pretty good glimpse of some of the Cabot Trail and just how windy the road is. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, right now I think we're up on French Mountain, which, I'm just going off memory, might be one of the tallest mountains in Cape Breton.
Okay.
Pretty high up here, and you already said the clouds are low.
I know, it's funny because we came from Cheticamp, which is very much at sea level, and the clouds seemed obviously very high in the sky. And once we got up here, it seems like these clouds are literally like right above us, obviously because we're high up.
Well, this is what we came here for. Look at this.
We made it. This is one of those situations that happens to us every once in a while where we film something that looks absolutely incredible in person, like mind-blowingly gorgeous, and you just know it's not going to come across the right way on camera.
I was going to say, there's no way the camera is going to capture this correctly. But
I know, but trust me, in person, it's unbelievable.
The way these stairs are, it just makes the whole scene even more epic. You got the Cabot Trail just off to your left. And then, of course, you have the look off. Open ocean, like open ocean everywhere. This is crazy. It's
nuts. I feel like we tell all our friends that are not from Nova Scotia or not even Canadian that one of the best drives in the world and one of the best look-offs, one of the best, most spectacular things you're going to see is here in Cape Breton. And I feel like they're always like, no, sure. You know, they don't really believe us. So maybe they'll watch this video and finally be like, yeah, maybe I want to come here.
Visit. Yeah. Well, not even that. There's so many people in our family that have not been up here, and we don't know why. There's nothing like this.
You know who you are, family members. You need to come.
There's nothing like this in Canada. You guys might be wondering why I'm not flying the drone today. Well, you're not allowed to fly drones in national parks. A lot of people do not know that, but I have managed to capture some kind of cool footage with an Insta360. It's the closest thing we can get to a drone, but I still cannot believe the views I'm looking at this way. It's just out of this world.
Just some logistical stuff. It costs $9 per day per adult to come into the national park. I think you can get day passes and different types of like yearly passes and different things, but $9 just per person if you're coming in for the day. We did see a sign when we were coming in saying Skyline, expect delays. So we asked about it and they said from basically from 11 till 4 it can get really busy, and if the parking lot fills up, they close it. So just be aware of that. If it's a really busy day, you could potentially not make it in here because it's too full. It wasn't too bad today. It's the middle of August, middle of the week, and it wasn't too bad. And honestly, it doesn't feel that packed when we get down here. A lot of people do come for sunset because we're facing west, but the only thing about doing that is then you have to walk back in the dark, which would be a little bit challenging. I mean, it'd be very, very dark. So if you're going to do that, definitely bring a very good flashlight with you.
One thing you might notice is all these steps, so there's different kind of levels, and there's quite a lot here. A lot of people are huffing and puffing on their way back up, that's for sure. Also, one more thing I'm really shocked about is on this side there's like no rope, and in some areas, I mean, if someone tripped, I don't know, that might be it. Before we get any further in the video, we just wanted to say a huge thanks to Squarespace, our longtime partner, for being a sponsor once again.
I think you guys know by now how much Squarespace is a part of our daily lives. We of course built our own website using Squarespace, but we have a whole web design business that exclusively uses Squarespace.
Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that helps you stand out and succeed online.
With Squarespace, you can sell your own products by creating your own online store. Whether you sell digital, physical, or service products, Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online.
Squarespace also offers flexible payments, allowing you to make the checkout process seamless for both you and your customers. Accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay. And in eligible countries, you'll also have the possibility to offer customers the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. Are you ready to build your own website? Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/delightfultravelers for 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website.
And of course, a huge thank you to Squarespace for again sponsoring this video and supporting creators like us.
All right, back to the video. One thing about being up here in the Cabot Trail is these epic views, and of course this amazing, incredible drive, and there's lots of look-offs as well.
Yeah, did we mention this is supposed to be one of the top drives to do in the world? So if you look that up, I bet you'll find it on some of the lists. Definitely one of the top in Canada, and definitely on a list of like best North American drives for sure. And this is the reason why. Again, I don't know how much of this you guys are really gonna understand, but in person, again, it's just unbelievably gorgeous. Like, yeah. I can't get over it.
If this looks good on camera to you guys, just wait till you see it in person. It's unbelievable. It's one of the great things about being up here on the Cabot Trail. There's all these stops, like incredible stops and look-offs, and probably little hidden gems that only locals know about. It's one of the things that makes it one of the best drives in the world. Now, I said before we were up on French Mountain. We're just kind of on the way down from that now. French Mountain is not the highest. I had to look it up because it was on my mind. It's called White Hill. White Hill is the tallest mountain in Cape Breton. I did not look up where that is, but I assume it's somewhere up here in the Highlands.
Also, a lot of people will ask us if they're going to do the Cabot Trail, which direction they should go.
Oh, yeah.
So today we are actually staying in the Cheticamp area, so we came up the side and then coming back down again. But if you're going to drive the whole thing, I think going counterclockwise starting in Bedeck is probably a great idea. You would go up Smoky, come around, and then come down this way that we're doing right now. Yeah, this right now, again, the camera, it's going to be like right up here. It looks so small in the camera, but this is one of those like the iconic shots you see in magazines. I think doing it counterclockwise is the way to go. But the other thing about going counterclockwise is you're on the right side of the road, so you're actually closer to the rail. And I know some people get really nervous about that, but you get better views. Yeah, if you are afraid of heights a little bit and you hate it when you're near the guardrail, you might not enjoy the ride, but for the rest of us, it's just incredible. It's funny, I don't mind at all like with the drive and the guardrail, but if you put me in a tall building, like, you know, when you're really high up, like 20, 30, 40 stories, that's where I get a little weak in the knees. Well, we worked up an appetite and we came down to Cheticamp to this adorable little sandwich shop. Check out the inside of this thing. Speaking of checking things out, I got a Reuben. Look at this sandwich. It's gonna be good, and luckily, I'm hungry. Before I try this delicious looking thing, I just want to point out that on the Cabot Trail, you'll find so many good sandwich places. So we got the Clucking Hen. Of course, people know about the Dancing Goat as well. Dancing Goat's really good. Let's see how this one holds up. This is a Reuben, and yeah, it looks like it was all kind of pressed down. It's warm. I thought it was gonna be cold, but enough talking. Let's just do it. Oh. Well, this thing is just over the top. There's so much flavor going on, especially with all that meat. It's really, really tender, and it's cut nice and thin. I like that. I don't like when the meat's too kind of thick and chunky. You also got sauerkraut on here. Just goes so well with that. And you got some cheese, and the bread, gotta be the showstopper. The bread is so good. I love that there's little grill marks on that. It's nice and crunchy. It's almost like a meaty grilled cheese, let's say. I absolutely love it. And I'd say it ranks right up there with the other places. I got something totally different, but before we get to that, I just want to point out we came to the middle of Cheticamp. There's this cute little park in the middle of the village that has lots of tables set up, so great place if the sandwich shop that you go to happens to be very busy, which it was today. We just came over here, decided to have a perfect little lunch spot right here in the middle of the town. But I went for their most popular sandwich, I believe. I saw that on their Facebook post about it, so I decided I'd go for it. It's a turkey Havarti. It's on, I think, host-made focaccia, which smells amazing. I wish you guys could smell this. I think there's also some lettuce and some mayo on there. It looks, I love the feeling of focaccia. Like, you have to touch it. It's so like fresh and kind of, not gooey, but like your hands go right into it. It's really, really soft. Sinky, that's the word. Yep, just like Trevor's, this really holds up against other stellar sandwich shops. Definitely a place you should come if you're going through the Cabot Trail. The bread, like Trevor's, is also the showstopper. It's so fresh, so delicious. But what I love about this whole sandwich, the whole thing, is that everything feels really, really fresh and high quality. There's lots of yummy turkey on there. It's a little bit salty. I love the greens on there, and I also think they use a really, really high quality mayo, or maybe they even make their own mayo, but it's really, really good. Love this sandwich. I'm glad I went for it. I was a little bit jealous when I saw Trevor's, but I'm happy with it.
How about the name too, Last Chance?
No, it's a cute name. Trevor was just joking that what if somebody else opened another sandwich shop just a little bit past there?
Yeah, people probably don't know Cheticamp is kind of the last stop
before you get into the national park.
And the other side is Ingonish.
Yeah. Well, we have now come back to the RV campground that we are staying at. It's just outside of Cheticamp. I think it's called Point Cross. It's a brand new place. I think it maybe just opened this year. It could be off on that. Maybe it was opened last year, but it seems pretty new. We do have some updates on the RV. A couple of videos ago, we asked you guys to help us name both our new FJ Cruiser and the RV, and you guys sent in so many great suggestions on both Instagram and in the YouTube comments. I mean, we went through so many really awesome options. At first we thought maybe we wanted to have something like that matched so that the two names like worked together, or we wanted to have Delightful in there because a lot of you guys suggested that. We thought for a while naming it like Delightful Camper and then saying like DC for short, but we realized that then we'd be saying stuff like, oh, we're on our way back to DC, and it might confuse some people that haven't followed along. So we narrowed it down to a couple really good ones, and I think we've finally made a decision.
All right, first of all, let's talk about the FJ. We did hint that we were thinking about calling it Scout in the video when we revealed this, and a lot of you guys really liked it. We really liked the name, so we decided to go with that. We're gonna call it Scout. It has a bit of travel theme in there, a little bit of exploring, and plus it just looks cool.
It does. I like the name Scout because it's basically like we're gonna attach it to the RV and go out in it, but then it's like we can detach it. This is the whole idea of what we wanted in the travel trailer and having a separate vehicle. We go scout out places in Scout. A lot of people actually suggested Ruby for the name of it, and they probably don't know that our very good friends, the Endless Adventure, have a RV, and they have a like
samurai
that goes with it, and they called it Ruby. So that would be really weird if we did that too.
Plus, I mean, I know it's maroon and all, but we like Scout. We feel like it's a little Scout, but what do we call in the RV? So one thing that keeps standing out to us is that this thing is black and white. Without stickers now as well, huh?
Yeah, we love the way it looks now that we took the stickers off. And a couple of you guys came up with a really good name that I never would have even thought of, but it's clearly what you thought of when you looked at it. First, one person mentioned it, and I said it to Trevor. I read it out to Trevor and was like, that's really cute. I like it. I like cute names. I'm sure a lot of people are not going to agree with us and probably think we should go for something a little bit more sophisticated or a little bit more like oomph to it. But then someone else suggested it again, and I was like, I think this is the name. So drum roll, should we tell them what we decided to call it?
Let's tell them.
It's Oreo. I love it. I think it's super cute.
I think it's cute too, obviously because it looks like an Oreo in a weird way. Now right now the door's open, but it's black. There's like a black stripe on the top. I don't know if you can see that with the awning. And then black in the bottom, white in the middle. We took the stickers off, and look at this. It's an Oreo. Metallic Oreo that we can tow.
Yeah, I hope you guys like it. I'm sure not everyone will agree with us, but that's the name, so deal with it if you don't like it, and hopefully a lot of you guys will think it's a cute name as well.
An update as well on some of the problems we've been having with, well, the RV and the FJ. First of all, I just realized that we did not give you an update since we had to fix the jack down here. So that's now fixed. It's gonna be hard to see, but there's a scissor jack in there. So we got rid of the old one that was basically bent and not working. Then the FJ, we had some issues as well. You guys might recall in PEI, we had a lot of bad luck. It turns out our exhaust on the bottom was cracked in half. So what we ended up having to do once we got back to, well, Nova Scotia anyway, we had to get a new exhaust. So you might be able to see under here, there's like a whole new a whole new system. We didn't just fix the crack, so that wasn't cheap. But hey, I mean, we knew this stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course. We fully expect this is gonna cost some money as we go through. None of this stuff is ever cheap. And obviously, we have a car from 2008. Like, every year there's gonna be a lot of things that need to be fixed on it. Same with the RV. It's like 5 years old, and I think many people would probably tell us that do RV life that constantly there are things that need to be upgraded and fixed.
Speaking of things that need to be fixed specifically,
we have another problem.
We have another problem. Come on inside here, we'll show you what's up. It's going to be hard to illustrate because it's a toilet problem.
Yeah, I don't really want to fully demonstrate what's happening, but it was working great. We were in Bedeck for a couple of days, which of course is very close to Sydney, and like all the RV places are over there. We get over to the west side of the island, which is far away from literally everything, and we did all our hookups, and we went to go flush the toilet. And a lot of you guys won't know how an RV toilet works, but usually you push a pedal, the little vault, like the little thing opens up, and the water comes out and then goes through. Yeah. What happened was the water wouldn't stop running. So
by that, when you flush, there's fresh water that comes out of kind of the top of the rim, and that pushes the water down. But also at the same time, when you take your foot off this pedal, it forms like a seal basically, and the water kind of gets held in there. So what's happening is this little toilet is overflowing. So there's no, like, I guess what we say, like a backflow or like a catcher, like I guess other toilets have or sinks have. Is they fill up too much, they won't overflow, but these will. So we think it's the valve for the toilet. So we've been having a bit of an issue here because we can't hook to city water because that just makes the water go through it and it just fills and overflows. Stop.
But we did figure out when we fill up the water tank and then use our water pump, if it's been off for a while and we turn the water pump on, the water doesn't start flowing. So we figured out a method to have it work for now.
It's clearly to do with the water pressure with the city. When the city water's on, it's a higher pressure and it goes right through. But that would mean if we had that on, someone has to literally stand with their foot on the toilet.
The other person does the water pump.
Yeah, it does the water pump. So anyway, that's the new problem. We'll see if we can get that sorted. Well, we got it sorted. We were saved. We found a mobile RV service repair that would come out and fix the toilet issue for us, because we just started this kind of like 10 or 12 2-week mission, and this happened. So we're just glad that the guy could come out.
I think if it ever happened again, we could probably do it ourselves, but we're far away from any sort of stores or anything at the moment where you could buy the stuff, all the stuff we needed. So it's great that these services exist. For sure.
Yeah, we're trying to keep you guys updated on our RV life here. Yeah. This is our first year, as we said, but hey, it gets us around to these epic places. And speaking of epic places on the Cabot Trail, more specifically, we're going to another one. Well, it's sort of on the trail, but sort of not.
We'll see.
You'll see. Oh, wow. So this is the famous West Mabou Beach.
So a couple of years ago, like during the pandemic when we spent a lot of time here, we visited a whole bunch of different beaches. And I feel like every time we went, we would ask people, what's your favorite beach? I cannot tell you the number of times people told us West Mabou Beach, which is where we are right now. And it definitely does not disappoint.
It's our first time too.
First time, we've never been here. So despite like the hundreds and hundreds of suggestions of this beach, this is our first time here.
So for me, I'm actually a little embarrassed. I grew up on Cape Breton Island on the other side, like around Sydney, in North Sydney specifically, and I've never been here before. But this is, I think, one of the last kind of famous beaches that we haven't been to in Cape Breton.
In Cape Breton, yeah. I know there's a bunch on the mainland that we haven't been to. One being Carter's Beach is like what people say is one of the most beautiful beaches in the province. But this, I think, over on this side, we've been to Port Hood, we've been to Inverness, we've been to Chimney Corner. Yep. Missing any really important ones? Ingonish?
So we're technically not on the Cabot Trail right now. I know, but it's not that far from the Cabot Trail, and this is one of the best beaches on Cape Breton Island, so I really, really recommend that you guys come and check this out. Also, you might be wondering why we're not flying the drone. I think it's kind of a new rule. You cannot fly drones in provincial parks in Nova Scotia anymore. So that's why I wish I could, because this beach is absolutely epic. But let's go check out the water. Anna's doing a water test. All right, what's the verdict?
It's nice. I wouldn't say it's like super duper warm, but you can definitely go in without feeling like everything's gonna freeze. And I think it's one of those things where you spend a minute or so and it starts to feel even warmer. So for Nova Scotians, you're gonna feel like this is super warm. For people like us that spend a lot of time in the Caribbean, it's nice. It's doable.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. I think there might be warmer waters. I don't know, in my memory, like further up the west coast. I think
this is perfectly doable. And going back to like what we said earlier about trying to convince friends and family to come here. A lot of people I find especially from the mainland Nova Scotia, go to PEI every year because they want that warm water beaches. This is warmer water than PEI for sure, and honestly, I kind of like the beaches a little bit better here. They're some of my favorite beaches.
I like them way better. I mean, look at behind you here. You got these kind of rolling, I guess, mountains or hills.
Not that PEI isn't great. I don't want to say anything bad about PEI, but I think people kind of overlook this area a lot, especially a lot of people from the mainland. It's so funny. But this is right here in Nova Scotia, and it's this amazing thing that a lot of people don't visit.
You also might notice there's not many people here on this beach, and it's the middle of summer. It's 26 degrees Celsius, and it's the weekend, and the beach is still empty like this.
It's funny, we drove down and there wasn't a whole lot of parking. We kind of had to not park in the parking lot but along the roadway and walk down, and so I expected it to be totally packed with people. And then you get down here, it's a huge beach, way bigger than I expected. Yeah, I wish that we had more time today to actually spend on it because we don't. There's a reason for that, and we're hoping to show you it in the next scene. We actually got to get going back to the Sydney area. Yeah, we have a big thing happening.
A big thing happening, and a lot of you guys have been asking about it. Well, you guys haven't seen this in a while. This is our tiny house, and this is also the day we say goodbye to our tiny house. You guys have been asking all summer, all year, what happened to the tiny house. It's sold. We sold it.
Yeah, we're quite sad about it. You know, you guys know we just sold our condo. That was a little bit easier, honestly, to part with. I'm trying not to think about this one too much. It hurts a little bit, but just the way things worked out, we have the RV instead now, so that's good. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss this thing.
Yeah, we'll give you a little tour of it right now, just if you guys haven't seen it. We picked a lot of people up over the years, but we bought this during the pandemic, and it just never really worked out for us. We had nowhere to put it mainly, but we love this thing, so we're sad to see it go.
Yeah, we hope the new owner loves it as much as we do, because yeah, it's sad.
The thing we really like about this is it's very open concept for a small space. It's so bright. You can see the couch area over here. There's windows galore in this thing. There is a loft.
I wish you stopped talking about it so nicely because you're actually making me more sad. I'm really trying not to think about this place at all, but being in here and talking about how beautiful and bright and open and airy it is makes me even more sad about it. I've been just trying to block it out of my head. But anyway, side note, this is the kitchen part. There is like a stovetop stuff that plugs in, but maybe the new person will take this and put like an actual like built-in thing here, and then there's a whole like sitting area over here, fridge, and the bathroom is back here. Yeah, this is a little bathroom, which is actually a perfect size. You got a shower. Nice shower over here. And lots of storage here. You have a really nice hot water heater back there. Yeah, on-demand heating. Yeah, come on upstairs here, and you guys will see. You can't stand up in the loft, of course, but it still does the trick. Yeah, so this is it. Of course, there's no bedding on there right now, but I think you guys get the idea. You really get the idea of just how high these ceilings are. Look at Anna down there. Yeah, it's super high. We really wanted to take you guys in here today just so all of us could say a final goodbye to it before the new owner drives away with it this afternoon. And I know, as Trevor said, a lot of people have been asking about it, so now you know, it's not ours anymore. I'm sure some of you might find this a little odd to put in the Cabot Trail video that we've been filming, but we wanted to give all the longtime viewers an update on this. We couldn't really talk about it before just because we didn't know if it was official. But it is now, and we actually had to rush away from our Cabot Trail video to come and do this very last minute. She was like, oh, can I come pick it up tomorrow? So we drove here and got it all ready, and now it's ready to go. So yeah, new chapter, new beginnings with the RV and closing the book on the tiny house. We're going to be sad about it, but we have another mode of transportation now with the RV, as you guys all know, so we're excited about that. If you got this far in the video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave us a comment, say goodbye to the tiny house with us. We are a little sad about it, bittersweet. But we have big things planned. We're going to be traveling again very, very soon, so we have a couple more videos left from here in Nova Scotia before we take off. That's right, we're taking off again. It's going to be fun. All right, guys, that's it. From Cape Breton, wishing you delightful travels. See you soon.